Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of 2 active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. This is the second video in my HB90 planning series for quarter 3. If you missed the first video, I'll put a link up above as well as in the description box below. The first video described the HB90 system and went into some detail on the first 3 parts of the system, which included reflection and review of the previous quarter, future vision and planning, and the boot camp kickoff. In this video, we'll talk about setting realistic goals and fitting projects in those goals. I do want to mention again that there is a printable that goes along with the HB90 system, and this is part of it. I only print out part of it, but I prefer to write in my Loistrum, so in case you're wondering why you see this notebook a lot, I do prefer to write in the Loistrum, but I do have a printout copy so that I can look at any of the questions and make any sort of notes, scribbles that I don't necessarily need to keep forever, but I do have the printable, and then I prefer to write in the Loistrum. But this is available with both the boot camp and I'm pretty sure also just the Q3 printable off of Etsy. But when setting up goals and projects for the next quarter, Sarah has you do a brain dump of everything you need to do, should do, want to do, and have already committed to doing. I do this in 3 areas of my life: my passion project, which consists of this YouTube channel, my home life, and my personal life. I could probably write out pages and pages of things that need to be done, but I do already have an idea of where I want to go in quarter 3. So this exercise for me is just making sure that I didn't forget anything big that needed to have time allotted for. Sarah also helps you decide what should and shouldn't be included in your goal setting if you need that help as well. But the truly groundbreaking change in my planning has been thinking of time differently. And Sarah helps you do this by giving you this calendar that is broken into time blocks. A time block is just a 30-minute segment, and I like to color code mine. I'm pretty sure Sarah likes to color code hers as well, but each color represents something different in my life. The light blue is workouts, the darker blue is the launch program that I'm working on, the gray is routines, green is household, this peach color is for my work, pink is for making all the plans, dark pink is making all the plans admin, but everything has a color assigned to it. And I generally know about the time that I want to start working each day. So I started by thinking backwards and knowing that I need to get up and work out at 5:30 so that I have time to work out, do the launch program, do my morning routine, and get to work. I also left a few time blocks in the middle of the day on the days that I work at home so that I could get outside for a walk or a run. From there, I'm really just trying to fill in where I think I'm going to have the most success accomplishing certain tasks. So I know that around bedtime, it's good for me to work on making all the plans things. It's after dinner time, it's after things have settled down a little bit. My kids are starting to wind down for the day, so that's why I like to work on my making all the plans items at that time of day. My weekend is still a little bit up in the air. I'm still working on figuring out what time blocks should go where, but this is my starting point for this quarter. Now I am just adding up the number of time blocks that I have for each area of my life. By going through the HB90 method and physically writing down an ideal week, I have realized that in an ideal week, which I don't get many of, I only have 36 task blocks, or 18 hours, to work on anything that is related to this YouTube channel. I have 31 home task blocks, or 15 and a half hours, to work on not just my home goals, but also regular home maintenance. And I have 20 task blocks, or 10 hours for personal wellness, as long as I get to bed on time, giving me 7.5 hours of sleep each night during the week. Then Sarah goes one step deeper, and here's what changed my whole outlook on goal setting and being gentler on what I can and can't get done in a quarter. And that is, even though I look at my task blocks and I feel like I can get a lot done, then she has us look at what else is going on in your life and estimating how many time blocks are actually going to get taken away because you have either a vacation scheduled, or you'll be out of town for work, or your kids' schedules collide with that time that you thought you'd be able to spend on a project. But this time estimation has really changed how I look at everything that I do. And when you look at the current quarter that I have written out, it really does look like I have a lot of good weeks ahead. But I will say that I know more time will be removed shortly as soon as I get my son's soccer schedule. So right now it looks like I have 7 ideal weeks. So given all that information, now I can look at what are reasonable goals to set. So when looking at making all the plans, I am trying to be more reasonable about my growth given the time that I can invest in my passion project. I also really dug deep into my stats for the last few quarters just to see the amount of growth that I have achieved so far. And although I would love to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year, I'm trying to be more realistic given the time I can spend on the channel. So my goal for this quarter is to have 690 subscribers. Now, Sarah also suggests having a good, better, best goal. So I have 690 as my good, 705 for better, and 730 for best. Now, is that achievable? Only time will tell. But I'm also trying to increase watch hours. So I have 600 watch hours for my good, 700 watch hours for better, and 800 for best. And this is additional watch hours. This will get me closer to my larger goal of monetizing my YouTube channel by the end of the year. I also did use a little chat GPT to add in a little pizzazz to my goal. So the end says to dazzle with content, hustle for subscribers, and watch those hours climb. And although I did lay out my 3 goals and then went back and broke them down into projects, I'm just going to go ahead and discuss the projects that I have that pertain to this goal since we're here right now. And the projects from this quarter are very similar to the projects from my previous quarter. And I do have these particular projects ranked in priority order. But the first project is to create content calendars for Q3, including 2 to 3 videos per week. And this is the priority project because everything that I know about YouTube is to post consistently and to post as frequently as possible. But I also know that in order to stay on top of posting videos, that I need to be organized and I need to know what is coming. So in order to do that, I have to have a content calendar. And then hand in hand with that is to script, video, edit, and post those 2 to 3 videos each week. Next, I would like to do a minor Instagram facelift. And this will include things like templates for future posts and reels so that they all have a consistent look to them. And again, to go hand in hand with that is consistent Instagram posting 2 or more times per week. And the reason why I'm focusing on that is because if I have more Instagram followers, then that can bring me more subscribers to my YouTube channel. So I really would like to focus on that. And then the last piece is the Instagram master class, which that may get dropped off depending on how many task blocks the other projects are going to take. So my estimated available task blocks for this quarter are 336, and now I am going to estimate how much time each of these projects is going to take me. So my estimate is 10 hours for creating content calendars. There will be 3 content calendars, so that is about 3 task blocks per content calendar. And then I want to do 2 to 3 videos per week. There are 13 weeks, and each video takes about 7 task blocks to complete. So that gives me 273 task blocks for creating videos. Then I'm just guessing at 8 task blocks or 4 hours for an Instagram facelift. I might just do little bits of tweaks here and there to build a cohesive look, and then 3 task blocks per Instagram post, giving me 78 task blocks. Hopefully I'll get faster at that, but for now, that is where I'm at. And then I gave myself 14 task blocks for the Instagram masterclass. So that is a total of 383 task blocks, and I only have estimated having 336. And I'm guessing that that will actually go down, which means that I will either have to take vacation from my job to work on this, or I'm going to have to cross some things off. So now I'm going to move on to goal 2. And again, this is very similar to last quarter, but the numbers will be a little different. But by the end of this quarter, I will shed 26 pounds, which again, I'm going to set a good, better, best goal. And so 26 pounds good, 32 pounds better, 38 pounds best. And a little thanks to ChatGPT again. It's time to munch mindfully, lace up those running shoes, and watch those pounds disappear. But again, we're working with 13 weeks, and I'm hoping that 2 pounds per week is a reasonable amount. We'll just have to see if my body agrees with that. So, my projects that are related to this goal will be to weigh in weekly to track progress. I'm also going to be taking quarterly body measurements just again to track the progress. And I'm kind of curious where I lose weight first compared to where I gained it first. And then I am looking at strength training 3 or more, but 3 days a week. And this is to just help balance out the running that I'd like to do. And I know that as you get older as a woman, you really should do strength training just to keep your bones strong. So I'd like to do that. And then run 5 or more days per week and start to build distance back up. And this is because I really am missing running ever since I had my gallbladder out and I hurt my foot. It has been a long road to get back to being mostly healthy. I'm hoping that my injury doesn't flare back up, but I just want to feel good again. And then I did put yoga 1 day a week, but it's probably going to be more along the lines of stretching because I have not been getting a lot of enjoyment from yoga lately. But I do feel like while I'm running, I do need to stretch out those muscles. But it may be yoga, it may just be gentle stretching for runners. And now I'm going to estimate my task blocks. I originally wrote 1 for weekly weigh-in, and really it's 0, but I did put 13. It will just be incorporated into my morning routine, as well as the take quarterly body measurements. And then the rest of this is the blue highlighting that I did when I was building out my ideal day. So my estimated total is 210 task blocks, but again, all this is already built into my day and it's very timed. It's not like a project for making all the plans where I'm not exactly sure how long things take. I know how long it takes me to run on the treadmill because I run for a specific amount of time usually, not for distance. It's those longer runs once I get there that I'm not sure how long they take. Hopefully that makes sense. Then for goal 3 for my home, I try to keep it kind of generic so that a lot of tasks can fit into my home section. And we don't have any huge projects currently going on. I would love to clean out the basement, but that is not on for the next quarter. By the end of this quarter, this house will be ready for cooler weather and all yearly exterior summer and fall tasks will be completed. I am hopeful that if these tasks and projects actually get completed this quarter, that I can move on to the basement. But I still need to work on a plan for the driveway. I am kind of in fear that our HOA is going to say we can't widen our driveway, so I've been a little frozen. So that is the main priority, though. We either need a new driveway, a driveway extension, or at the very least, we need our current driveway sealed. And then, of course, we need to clean the exterior siding. That is a yearly task, which I absolutely hate, but it is just something that needs done. It also needs to be sprayed with wet and forget. Exterior paint touch-ups. We would like to replace the lighting at the front of our house. It's showing its age. It's about 20 years old, and the finish just is not the same. Clean the shed and perform required maintenance. I'm not sure that there will be any required maintenance, but in the event there is, I want to have that written in. However, I do need to keep in mind how much I'm going to block out for that project, given the fact that I don't know how many hours or how many time blocks I'll need to do any maintenance. The next project is to wash windows and screens. And then I need to replace and clean the dryer vent. That is really hard to do in the winter, which is why it did not get done this winter when I noticed that there was a problem on the dryer vent. And then I need to clean and organize the garage, and we need to have the back door replaced. And again, that's another project where I don't think it'll take very long, but I have a hard time calling contractors. So again, I'm trying to get over that fear of calling contractors, and we've just had some bad experience with contractors, but I need to get over that so that we can get these projects done and we can move on to the next thing that needs done. So as I'm estimating these task blocks, these are definitely projects that I'm willing to take off from work to get done if I can't get them done on the weekend or in the evenings. But I did go ahead and off camera write in my task blocks. There were a total of 64, which shouldn't be too unmanageable or unwieldy to get done before the winter or before the end of this quarter. Again, I'll probably use some of that flex time there on the weekends. So Sarah recommends that you don't have more than 3 goals, and I think 3 goals are also a good spot for me. Sometimes it feels a little overwhelming to have these three in addition to a full-time job. So I have debated about going down to 2, but until my health is just routine again, I don't think that I'm willing to let that go. And of course, I can't let the home maintenance go either. Otherwise, bigger things will happen that will need fixed, and it will cost more and probably take longer to have those fixed. So I think 3 is my sweet spot, and I definitely like having the 3 complete different areas of my life as separate goals. But like I said, I do need to just be realistic that I also have a full-time job on top of all of this. But I will also mention that most of these things I have done in different systems, I've done on my own. The biggest part is the time estimator. It really just, I don't know why I didn't think about the fact that I don't have the same amount of time every week to get things done. So the time estimator is really a big deal to me, and I thought about skipping over it the first time I went through HB90, and I am so glad that I didn't, because I really like having a realistic expectation of what I can and can't accomplish in a quarter. I did also mention in the last video that I am only planning on putting my Kanban board together for the first month and then doing it month by month. And here is the other reason. My July will probably not change very much when it comes to this time estimate, but I have mentioned soccer, and I think there's going to be another trip thrown in here. And there are a couple big projects at work that I will probably have to be in during the evening or weekend hours. So I know things are going to have to shift around a little bit. So thinking about July, it's safe and realistic, but looking at August and September, to focus on those 36 task blocks I have each week and think that I'm actually going to get them is not realistic. So I'm going to hold off on August and September for the Kanban board and being super specific about my tasks, but I am going to pencil them in, which means I will write them all out in Notion so that I have them and can tweak them as I go along. But really, I want to make sure that when I get to the beginning of August, I can look out and say, this is what I can realistically accomplish this month. But we will talk about that more in the next video when I talk about tasks and setting up the Kanban board. But thanks for joining me. If you'd like to be notified of the next video, don't forget to hit subscribe and that notification bell. If you have any questions about the HB90 system and how I use it, I would love to answer them or talk about it. It's quite exciting, and I really like the support that I've been getting from the bootcamp participants as well as Sarah. But thanks for joining me today. I will see you in my next video. Until then, I hope you're productive. Bye.